Hey, welcome back to Operations Unfiltered, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of influencer and talent management. I'm your host and your favorite marketing project manager girlie, Zuryna. Today's guest is Terrance Frazier. He's the co-founder of City of Gods, and he just so happens to be a fellow cohort member from my cohort of the Associated Black Charities Board Pipeline Program. I know it's a mouthful, but if you check back at a previous episode, I talked all about my experience and why I chose to do that program, and I talk a little bit about what I learned. Anyway, Terrance is all about blending style, culture, and community. He hails from New York City, but now lives in the heart of Baltimore. And during our conversation, we talked about how he built a brand that's partnered with giants like Nike and Red Bull. We also chatted a little bit about his newest venture called By Any Dreams Necessary. So if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, enthusiastic about fashion, or just looking for some actionable advice on collaboration, then stay tuned for this episode. So without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Operations Unfiltered. So how have you been since finishing our time in Associated Black Charities and all of the things?
You know what? Overall, it's been a good look because I see that a lot of people are getting into different nonprofits and they're on the board.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. I'm feeling encouraged that that's happening. And then I see other opportunities that I'm like passing by because I'm like, I want to, I know a little bit more now
Yeah.
about board. So don't try to trick me into this board.
Exactly. I have had to turn down a few too because I'm like, no, I know a little bit more now. So when you know better, you do better. But I definitely had to credit that experience and like also mingling with you. I've met so many great people. And I always tell people that was the biggest takeaway. It was the information was great, but honestly, the connections have been amazing.
I agree with you 100%. It's definitely something that I didn't expect, and it's paying off really well with the relationships as we
Yeah.
see.
But I want to know all about City of Gods. And I did my research, I Googled, but I want to hear from your mouth how City of Gods came to be. Give me the origin story.
Oh, well, I think one of the good parts about the City of Gods is that it's not a one-man story, It's
Yeah.
really a brainchild of just like people making strides to try to do something great. So it started out really with four people who were in fashion, and we all wanted to do something in fashion, but we didn't have a lot of money. So I was from New York, and I had I guess, a background of really networking with people who love clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and that
So you say New
that
York, what part of New York? Because you always gave me that New York energy, and I can't believe I never asked this. Like, what part before you go, so I can see if my
well,
guess is correct.
look, they call me I'm really Baltimore's adopted son, so I've been here longer than I've been New York, but they say some things are still in your blood, but their love for fashion came from New York. I'm from Queens, and I'm a distance from Manhattan, where we call like the hot spot, the mecca for clothes. So I used
Yeah.
to travel to Manhattan from Queens after school and high school, and during the weekends to find the best, cheapest, or discount, what we would call nowadays like what they call closeouts, like Marshalls. But
Yeah.
back then they weren't Marshalls, TJ Maxx. They weren't like large operations. They were like these little stores you had to go
Mm-hmm.
to in crevices in New York, and find out the deals, and you would never tell your
Yeah.
friends where they were. You would be like, nah, I'm not gonna tell you my secrets. We would get like stuff for like $5, like it'd be Polo, it'd be like Willie Wear, Liz Claiborne, Perry
The
Ellis. We had
ritzy, the
some,
ritzy brands. I know that's right.
yeah, we didn't have money for that stuff, and we were buying it for like pennies, because at that time it was small little stores selling it for cheap. So
Yeah,
we would just fell in love with it because we felt like we were keeping up with all the, back then it was the drug dealers, the rappers, and we were like,
exactly.
we wear what you wear because we got this shirt, from Benetton and all this for $5, and you don't know, you think we paying full price. So
Yeah.
after I got that high of being like in high school and everybody like, where you get that stuff from? I was like, I know that clothes is my inner calling. But it
Yeah.
died for a little bit until a guy came to me and said, yo, I need your help with my clothing line. Helped him with the clothing line. And then his clothing line blew up to us like, hey, let's open a store. His name was
Mhm.
Idris. And we opened a store with two other people. So it was four of us. And we were like, yo, look, we all got different clothing lines. you guys gonna take your money from your sales. I'm gonna take my money from my sales, and we're gonna keep one register. And it worked out for about 3 months, and then the money got commingled, and people were like, "Yo, I can't take this. I'm not making enough. I'm making a little
Yeah.
bit." Four brands, really, like yeah, like I would say three brands came together, and it worked for a little bit. But
Yeah.
what we determined was like, look, it's too many brands, and other people were like, I can't do this anymore because it's like starving artists.
Mm-hmm.
They left, and I found another person named my partner named Mashari. We got the store. I got him in the store, and me and him been rocking ever since. But it basically came on the vision of City of Gods is like this collaboration of men wanting to be gods, and
Mm-hmm.
we watched the movie which is called City of God, which kind of, people were kind of vibing off of that because it was
Yeah.
some play on clothes. So that's really it started. And we've been there for 16 years. Yeah,
Ah, I
16. I'm sorry,
love that.
16.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that it started.
Streetwear.
I love that it was rooted in collaboration because I feel like, especially nowadays, everybody is like of that idea that you can do everything solo. So, can you talk a little bit? I mean, you briefly mentioned some of those challenges about collaborating, but can you speak to some of the pros that came along with working with a group as opposed to trying to do everything yourself?
Yeah, no man's an island. And some people will claim that they're self-made, but they'll never admit sometimes that they got help.
Yeah.
So I think that that's important when you're looking at building something that you seek people who are on your same wavelength in order to do it effectively. And that's pretty much, what I did. I was like, hey, look, we're looking for good people who may not know what they're doing, but got good hearts,
Yeah.
and may not be perfect, but I think that I had enough in me to seek out that. And that led to, so many different collaborations over the years. And I think that is where we need to be as far as our people, especially because we don't have a lot of opportunities
Yeah.
to, I know people who are white, Asian, and other, friends and some I don't know, but they like, yo, they got backing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
3 chances, they got 5 chances. Some people got 10 chances to get it. And
Yeah.
we got maybe like two
Two
chances, you know
good
what I
ones.
mean? Like
Always two good ones and a possible. That's the lingo? Two good ones and a maybe.
and impossible, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you got it like that, two major setbacks could, put you in a situation where like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So collaboration helps with that. It softens the learning curve, especially if you get with people who like to learn
Yeah.
and you're getting with people who have experience. So I think that's, collaboration has taught me I don't want to be by myself.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, and I cannot tell people enough the power of sliding into people's DMs and just asking questions. That has propelled me so far. I work with Stefan Diggs's mom, Stephanie Diggs,
Oh
and I work with
wow.
her because I slid in their DMs, and I've been working with her for 2 years now.
Get
So
out of here. Wow.
yeah, so I'm like, yeah, please slide into those DMs, bet on yourself, and ask those questions. So
That's
right on
when
about
DMs work.
collaborating.
DMs work. They do work.
Yes,
You're right.
especially when people check them. So check
Yeah,
y'all
right.
DMs. But you
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
that you've had some really big collaborations, and of course, I told you I did my due diligence. I saw that you've worked with Nike, Red Bull, Rock Nation. So how did you approach these brands or work on these projects? What was your pitch? What did you do?
It's most of it was more, I guess, timing and people really taking the time to see what I was doing
Yeah.
and asking me to come on board with what they were doing. So
Again, the power of collabs. I
yeah,
love it.
collab. Yeah, I mean, the Nike situation came about when I believe they wanted to be introduced to the city of gods and our culture,
Hmm.
and we were helping them with we knew a person at Nike, and Ben, I think his name was Ben, and he was like, hey, look, I'm doing these campaigns,
Yeah.
and one is with the Air Force One, which is iconic for Baltimore. And
Hmm.
he was like, "Yo, the city of gods is the centerpiece of culture. We're gonna make a Air Force One." And we just started, talking about it from there. And they made a special Air Force One for the bike communities here. the
Which I
Razorback
love
community.
because that is such like that is so Baltimore. When you think of Baltimore, that's what I think of. I know a lot of people say crabs, but I also
Yeah,
say
bikes.
like dirt bikes.
Ain't
Yeah.
that the
So
truth? Right. If you
yes.
come out on Sunday, come down here on a Sunday,
Right.
and I'll show you where you can find, crabs and bikes. And sometimes you're gonna feel offended because the noise gonna cut you off and everything. But
Yes.
yeah, but
I'm a Houston transplant, born and raised in Houston. So that was
oh,
very
okay.
alarming when I saw it for the first time. I'm like, get me back home. But now it's just like I'm used to it now. That is definitely the Baltimore culture.
That's the Baltimore. Welcome to Baltimore. Once again, for the people who don't know, you'll see. But yeah, so Nike and they came to us, and then sometimes I sort out different vendors, but a lot of them they take notice. They a lot of people are in the trenches looking for talent, and our store, the City of Gods, is kind of like attracts a lot of different attention, even though we're small and we're not a mammoth brand, but we attract a lot of attention from big brands, and that's
Mhm.
how they end up coming to us and be like, look, we need to do a collaboration. Same
Yeah.
thing with like Red Bull, Under Armour, same thing. They
It
they
seems
take
like you
notice of
guys
the
rely a
person.
lot on that community engagement piece to help build or propel your ability to work with these brands. So I love that. And at the root of it,
Yeah.
it's all collaboration with a good pitching strategy. So I like what I'm hearing and I like what
And
I'm
you know what?
seeing.
Zuri, the reality that's true. You definitely you gotta have a good pitch ready, but you also our foundation is closed. Like
Yeah.
we've sold, you know, hundreds of thousands of hundreds of thousands, I won't say dollars, but hundreds of thousands of gear over the
Mhm.
years to people. And that, that's a part of the bigger story is like, hey, look,
Yeah.
you really built it off of really doing something different. Before us, it was clothing lines were pretty much put out like 100 or maybe a big line of one item. So they would be like, hey,
Yeah.
look, I just want to produce this T-shirt with it may have a happy face on it. I'm gonna do 200 of them. But for us, we were the first of our kind in Baltimore. We was like, nah, we're just gonna do 12. Like
Yeah.
no matter what, it's gonna be rare. This was '09. It was like
Yeah, like
it was
capsule
small.
collection style. Oh, I
Yeah,
like
it's just like that.
that.
So we didn't do any big, large collections. Everything was small because we didn't want people going out seeing their clothes on other people. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I didn't like that as growing up as a kid. I'm like, yo, I got this went all the way to Manhattan and got this thing, and somebody else got it on. So I
Yeah,
learned
you would be
early on.
surprised. My friends still don't like that. To this day, my friends hate that. So,
You gotta go to the
yeah.
club. You gotta stand somewhere else. You gotta go to an
Yes.
event and be like, "Yo, look, somebody got my outfit on from Zara." What I mean, I'm just gonna go over
Yes.
here. I'm just gonna leave early.
Exactly. So you really, again, you filled a void or you filled a gap in the market,
Yeah,
which I love. But you
kind
know
of
what's
started
so
right.
crazy is right now I own Livermore Agency and I'm a manager for content creators. And
That's
a
what's
lot of
up.
the
Yeah,
creators that
all
I
that.
work with will turn down partnerships with clothing brands because they feel that it's not exclusive or they feel that the brand isn't, it's not good, it's not special. But as a clothing brand owner, what do you say to that? And then do you even work with content creators? Because I know that you always, I know not you, but most clothing brand owners feel like creators always want something free. So just walk me through that, what that relationship looks like. And if you are interested or have you worked with content creators to promote City of Gods?
Yeah, I think that it's good. It's just a matter of you got to make sure the person is serious about what they're doing
Yeah.
because as a small business, you don't have a lot of free product to give out. So
Mhm.
each one you give out or collaboration you do is money out of your pocket. So it goes to marketing, goes to branding, and you have to make sure that that person is gonna, get, you hate to be like, you're not popular enough. I'm not giving you you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's some truth to that. It's like, hey, look, what do sometimes, it's kind of like in school, the assignment has to be you first. You got to go out and see, and then before you get help, like your teacher's gonna be like, yo, go out and take a stab at it first, and then come back and bring it to me. So that's kind of what I think most people have to do. They gotta let people come into the doors and evaluate if it's a good collaboration, it's good content, and will you get any traction for that company's goals,
Yeah.
so and that's what it's gonna be based off of. Everything is gonna be exclusive to what the objectives are, I think.
I love that perspective. And as a business owner, if you had to collaborate with your dream influencer, dream content creator, who would it be and what would you envision that collaboration to look like?
Man, I mean, as you say, posthumously, I would like Nipsey, Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
would
Rest in
love to
peace,
have a
Nip.
collaboration. I mean, even today, with the marathon
Yeah,
thing, I think that was just a movement that for the decades, one in a lifetime piece.
yeah,
And so living wise, I would definitely, I always liked, the people who are trending or just, the secret trenders. So it would definitely be a male. I would like, I know a lot of people don't like the Kanye West, but Kanye West will be, like ideal because of what he did for fashion. It's like
yeah,
this that was just iconic, his run. And
for
I know he still
sure.
got some stuff up his sleeve. And then, I think a little bit more of somebody who could probably really, I think that I look up to that can dress. I think it would be somebody, locally, in
Mhm.
our area, just giving, that's what the City Guys is about, just giving local artists and content creators a chance. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
We got, we did 300 concerts, our first 8 years, many
Yeah.
concerts. And we give our brand to other people to share it. And I would love to collaborate with some local artists. Yeah, here
Okay,
in
well, I'm gonna put that into the atmosphere. We're gonna put that in the episode descriptions. I'm the connector, the networker.
yeah,
They
yeah,
call. I
okay.
definitely will send some people your way for sure.
Yes, yes. You know,
So you mentioned that, or I read that you launched a new venture called By Any Dreams Necessary. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that complements the work, or if it even complements the work that you're doing with City of Gods?
yeah, well, good question. By Any Dreams Necessary is really going to be a launching pad for anybody that wants to achieve their goals, especially when you're dealing with fashion, when you're
Mhm.
dealing with tech, and you're also dealing with just living a life that is an abundance, So I want to be that connector to say, look, this is how you look, this is how you think,
Mhm.
and this is the philosophy that you should go by in order to achieve that. So we
Okay.
want to make the tech, serve you, instead of you serving
Yeah.
the tech. So we have like a total tech services where I'm here at Map Technology now. You can't really see it, but they're a part of the affiliation where you can come in and come to our tech centers at 322 West Baltimore Street, or you can get a podcast at City of Gods through City of Gods Philly, or when you look at the clothing piece, we're able to produce clothing that
Mhm.
makes you feel good about yourself, the gods, and then I'll connect you with other people that I know that have other brands,
Come
that
on,
are
Resource Hub. It's
yeah,
giving connector.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I want to do. So the brand is really going to be about connecting. It's going to be about monetizing what's right for you and branding. From redesigning your websites to looking at a activation.
Yeah, okay, so really a holistic approach. I'm a project manager by trade, so I love holistic approaches. I love
You
being
got to
able to
teach
see
me that.
the
It's
metaphor.
on a body dreams necessary team or automatically. Let's go.
But you know what? To that point, I told you I'm a project manager. I'm a manager for content creators. But do you consider yourself, Terrence, to be either a content creator or an influencer? Which one do you feel like resonates the most with the work that you do?
Would probably be I think I'm in a unique category where I'm like almost like an evangelist almost,
Oh, talk
like
about that. Let's get
and
into it.
when you're looking at what we need in our society today, I like advocate for the best living, So I'm looking at what is the new revelation on how we can live longer? What's the new revelation on how we should think? Where should we travel? What people should we associate with? So I'm an evangelist for, people doing life extensions, you know what I mean? What spiritual practices are you practicing? Anything, that we need in order to live a more fulfilled life. I want people to feel like a god. You know what I mean? Like not
Yeah.
the God, but a god. Like, yo, look, I control my destiny.
I love
I
that. You really focusing on
Yeah,
that mindset
yeah,
shift.
the
And I
mind,
love
yeah.
that.
And
Yeah.
it's self-talk too. So I need that too. I need to look in the mirror and feel my own advice. And so that's what I would say. I'm like an evangelist that wants to make sure that people realize their worth. And at the end of the day, you can capitalize off it, whether it be monetary
Yep.
or just trading up to say, hey, look, I'm here. This proof of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
For
we want people to have
sure.
proof of life.
Well, I love that. And it seems like you already wear a whole bunch of different hats. So, tech wise, you mentioned that you are helping people with their tech stack. You mentioned that that's part of the holistic approach that you're doing. But for you personally, how do you manage all of the things that you have going on? What tech and tools do you use? Or are you a pen and pencil type of person? How do you keep yourself organized?
The main thing is I'm using AI now, right? And
Okay, talk about it.
it's
Let's
helping.
talk through it.
So now every day I'm dedicating at least an hour or two to using, Chat GPT, whether it be Claude, all the different tools to generate pictures, to take pictures of the City of God's clothing, and
Yeah.
it could spit it out. And you don't have to be standing over in a studio taking pictures of the clothes anymore. Like all that is the tools that I'm engaging in right now in order to do work. Things that used to take hours to do, I'm able to spit it out in seconds and minutes, and then add my touch onto it. Documents, creating Excel spreadsheets for managing your time, adding calendars, creating bots, that will, know what you think. That's a
Yeah.
good part of it. And then also too, you gotta have, you gotta buy back your time with, real people. So, we got
Yes.
interns, assistants, and like my brother-in-law said, he said, "Man, anything you got a problem with, throw money at it." So
I love that. Get a
he's
cleaning
like,
lady.
"Look, right, right, you gotta do it." So you could throw money at to buy back your time. So I believe in that. Like I
Yeah.
don't believe in like this. Sitting there, I was trying to fix my washing machine. Like trying to be a man's man. I was like, nah, this ain't gonna get it. I was
It's
doing
above
two
me now.
hours. Wife is like, yo, what you gonna do? I'm like, yeah, I got this. I got it.
No,
Two
she
hours later,
probably yes.
didn't happen. I'm not there. I'm not my father. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
spend $100 for my service to come out and do it. So
And look, if you would have did it 2 hours earlier, you would have paid for your peace of mind. You could have took your wife on a date. I'm sure she would have
right.
appreciated that.
Look, this is the project management talking. Listen to her. Listen to her. You know what I mean? Or
I'm
I could have just
here.
went on a date by myself and not told anybody and hit
That
the food,
too. I
put it in the
encourage
trash.
self-care dates.
That's the
Self-care
that's a hack
dates.
right there.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But you know what? We talked briefly about our time in ABC and the board pipeline. Are you currently serving on a board? And I have a reason why I'm asking this because it'll all make sense. But let me know if you're serving on any
Set me up,
boards.
y'all. Set me
Yes.
up. She's trying to get me to the board. You know what I mean? Like, is that
Yes.
board paying? I'm like, is this board paying?
You
Listen,
surprisingly,
it could be
you're not.
it could be a lunch. Like, look, I'm looking for some type of bargaining chip here. Yeah,
Oh
but
gosh.
no, yeah, I am on one board, and it's a excellent board of leaders. I'm learning so much called Support by Design, and I've
Mhm.
been on the board for almost 2 years now. And they're located on Harford Road, but they support schools, they support mental health programming, and I guess they have about 30 employees, but
Yeah.
learned a lot from Support by Design. And a temporary board would be the Wealth Summit Board, which is a
Yes. Which is where
summit.
I saw you.
Yeah, so okay, so okay, yeah, thank you. All right, so that they are. I am paid advertising that is working. So yeah, Wealth Summit is coming up in the first weekend in May. I mean, first week in September, and
Mhm.
we're gonna be teaching through so many different ways of people who are the leaders of the industries from all around the country
Mhm.
coming in to do seminars. They're going to be doing talking panels. They're going to be interacting with the crowd. Last year we had Earn Your Leisure. Well, 2 years now we had Earn Your Leisure, who really brought a wealth of knowledge. And this year we have a whole host of Amani, who has started Culture Con. She's going to be one of the
Mhm.
speakers. Some of the founders of Blockley Fest. So we got some heavy hitters coming through to teach us, you
And
know.
how did you get involved with this organization? Because again, I saw your face and I was like, ABC is out here doing the work, okay? But I know that was attributed to you and your outgoing personality. So how did you start working with them, and why was it so important to work with the Wealth Summit?
If you know Raven and Tony, they CEO Evolve. They're
Yes,
a
I'm
new
gonna have to get her
company,
on
but
Mom's Unfiltered. I need to
oh
get
yeah,
it tap in
yeah, yeah.
with her.
You talk about high energy, she has high energy, beautiful people. And the first one was 2023. I was helping them to I was trying my hand at broadcasting, and I was
Ooh.
promoting it by, interviewing some of the guests. And it turned out to be
Terrence,
really
you
good. They
really have
actually
a whole life story. Like I had no idea. Like we were in class for like how many weeks and I had no idea. This is
Yeah, no,
crazy.
I did. Yeah, yeah. Look, I don't, I have layers. I'm like Shrek, you know what I mean? I'm complicated, you know what I mean? So
Yes,
you gonna peel back the onion, you'll find some stuff. I don't
for
broadcast everything.
sure.
I mean, whatever Jay-Z said, when I'm gone, you study my bones, study the bones.
But that's what
Yeah,
we
that's
have in
how I got
common because I
involved. So
definitely was
Wealth
a
Summit's
radio
coming up.
girly.
Want to see you there.
Oh yes, I'm coming. I'm coming for sure. But I was a radio girly too, so I'm like, we had so much in common, and we definitely didn't tap into this at the cohorts. But anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, but so I've served on their board for about 2 months now, and we've going over the programming. It's interesting to see the behind the scenes and how effective they are at
Yeah.
getting the great talent to come to Baltimore. And it's the biggest wealth summit of this kind in the DMV area. Last year we had, I think, like 1,000 people. This year we
Yeah.
were expecting more. And this year we added on a youth wealth summit in October. So it's going to
Which
be
is
strictly
so
focused on,
needed,
yeah,
especially with all
financial
the money
literacy.
and
It's going to be on,
NIL.
yeah, the NILs. It's going to be on like how budget, goal setting. So it's going to be focused strictly on them. So
Yeah.
that's, a part of my buy any dream necessary again. It's like, how do we live our best lives,
I love that. I actually recently connected with Drew Hawkins. He was supposed to come to the cohort graduation. He owns EduCore. I don't know if you remember him, but you should definitely connect with him because he does a lot of
Yeah,
work
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah. Right,
NILs
right.
and athletes. Yeah, great conversation with him. So tap in with him too, because I think he'd be a great resource.
Come on, sir. You are the connector. I'm just in your shadow, so I just need you to
No, look, we're
connect
gonna
with
be a
me.
team at this point. We're gonna be a team because I need to pick your brain. Now that I know you are a broadcast journalism person, look, we're gonna have a few more episodes of Operations Unfiltered because I need to tap into this real time current
I don't charge
events.
much. I don't charge much. I don't charge. So just get me on. Get me on. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm
Like
gonna
I
have to take
said,
out a loan.
I like food. You know what I mean? Halal. I like halal food. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
probably a meal. I'm good.
Listen, noted. Noted. I'm from the South, so don't tempt me with a good time. I like
Oh
to
yeah,
cook.
Houston.
So,
Yeah, that's the home of all the food.
hey,
Dang.
look, we
Yo,
gonna
look, just
talk.
give
We
me
gonna
some gift
talk.
cards, right, to all those dope restaurants down there. And look,
Yes,
I'm
I'm gonna
happy.
start at Triple J's. That is my all-time favorite. I'm gonna have to
All
put
right,
you
I'm gonna
on.
write
I
down
don't. I
that.
shouldn't even said that. I might take that out the
Triple
episode.
J's. That you giving away. You gatekeeping. What's going
Yes,
on?
I'm gonna gatekeep that one. Unapologetically gatekeep that one.
Dang.
Oh my
Get
gosh!
in my
But
way,
you,
please.
like I said, you have so much going on. What is next for you? What ventures are down the pipeline? I know we have the Wealth Summit, but what is next on the horizon for Terrence?
I, I like the health journey. I'm
Okay.
really wanted to get. I run, with with bro, which is the Black Running Org, and they help me. I don't run as often as I should. I don't show up. Issa and the family, that's the leader, bro. But I try to show up. But they
Yeah.
motivate me on the run tip, and then I think the next journey for me is probably going to be like, look, don't cheat. You know what I mean? Let's really get down to optimum health. You know what I mean? I went to the
Yeah.
doctor, the blood pressure was good, but it can go up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting
Yeah.
older now. It's hard to recover like you used to. You can't just eat the bag of, Doritos and stuff and
Come
get
on,
away
black
with it.
men, share this. Come on.
So
You
I'm
know
like
what? I
real
love that.
hesitant. I got a friend, shout out to Kamal. I just visited him at University Hospital. He's going
Mm-hmm.
through a cancer battle, and I know he wouldn't mind us sharing it, but and we're gonna do the fundraise of him. So it's about that. It's about looking at longevity because I think a lot of people are facing that right now. Like
Yeah.
they feel like they're cornered with health. Like
Mhm.
I don't know what to eat. I mean, there are some people doing some good work, but I think it's a lot of us trapped.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
me,
let's
like
tap in. Let's tap in because
yeah.
I had weight loss surgery. So I had it back in 2018. I've always struggled with like obesity. And now post op, I'm trying to live a healthier lifestyle. I'm on the low carb, high protein lifestyle. So I definitely
Oh,
would love to
beautiful!
tap into.
Congratulations to you,
Yes, thank you.
your
My
journey.
heaviest, I
That,
was like
don't you think it's the
340.
hardest thing ever though? Food. It's like I
It's
think
awful.
it's hard. I think it's real. I think it's underestimated how the power of it.
Yeah, and it made me think of someone, Mother Nature. She does like the fresh pressed juices. I don't know if you've heard of her, but I don't know. I feel like you should tap in with her. There could be a collaborative. I don't know, because her energy is the same as you. She's on her holistic journey, fueling
Yeah,
the
let's do it.
body. So yeah, my wheels are spinning.
You know what they say, right?
No, what did they say?
If you have 99 problems, right?
Yeah,
Then you got 99 problems. But if you got 99 problems and one of those problems is your health, then that's the real problem.
that is true. I can believe that. I believe that. So we all need to start taking care of ourselves from the inside out, and that includes our mental health. I believe that
Yeah, yeah.
wholeheartedly.
And that's another thing, mental health too. Like I had somebody call me today, like 1 in the morning, one
Yeah.
of my City of God's affiliates, and they were just like, yo, I see, they're hearing things, they're seeing things, you know what I
Oh
mean?
no.
And, you know, I haven't talked to a person in a long time, but yeah, yeah, you got to value mental health because you take for granted. I'm like, I don't even know how to help. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm gonna help. And the person is not in the area, but I'm like, yo, I'm gonna help as much as I can because, what they say, your grandmother say, thank God I woke up with my right mind. Once you
Oh, I
lose your
was just
mind,
saying that in my head. I was
once you
like, people
lose it, you can't
who
get it
lost,
back. I don't know anybody that lost their mind and got came back. You know what I mean? You
listen.
can lose a limb, yeah, it's not that many. You have them the neuro or whatever's in your brain. It's delicate, so we got
Yeah,
to
it is.
preserve that bad boy. So
And honestly,
mental
I
health
think they're
is good.
connected with
Thanks,
the diet. I think the diet is connected to it as well. I
diet is
really
it.
think that. So,
Yeah, diet is it. Diet is all holistic. That's like I said. You feel trapped. You're like, oh, I got all this. I got the fashion part. Yeah, you didn't get the health part, did you? Yeah, you still
yeah.
dabbling in that, whatever you doing, and it's affecting you. So I think health is, so precious.
Well, I'm
Oh, but
supportive.
but but next level that I'm really excited about to answer your question, working with the NBA Africa. That's really exciting.
Ooh, what are you
Yeah.
doing there if you're able to speak to that?
The NBA Africa is exciting because it's called the Basketball Africa League, is what it's known in Africa. But you can see behind me, that's the statue in Senegal, one of the largest
Yeah.
tall statues in Africa. But their grassroots program from 30 years ago in Senegal brought attention to in the NBA. And NBA came to Senegal a couple of years ago and said, "Look, this is going to be the headquarters of NBA Africa." And
Wow.
yeah, so helping to understand their program on the continent, the grassroots basketball program,
Yeah.
talking with them every week on strategy, listening in. Sometimes I'm just learning. It's
Mhm.
not. I'm just sitting there like, it's beautiful that we're able to have NBA Africa. They want to be the largest sport next to soccer, and they want to be
That is
right
a
underneath
hefty
soccer.
goal. That is a big goal.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah. So
man.
they want to be in the reign of soccer in the next 20 years, and they also want to take basketball and empower people with it. Like the NBA here is like, oh, you get the contract and then you start affecting change. NBA
Yeah.
Africa is more like, okay, you can change even in your growth, as we get our players, and I'm saying we like as that and the African players develop, you can work and people can work to make it happen within the journey. So they have like in NBA Africa, they have these cities they travel to and play. And in each city, they set up shop. Like they have a tech summit. They'll have a
Yeah.
how to manage your money. And it's not just for players, it's for people to come. And all the heavy hitters from Africa come out to these leadership summits. And it's a whole
Yeah.
thing, you know what
Oh,
I mean?
you
It's like,
definitely need to tap in with Drew.
yeah. So you're
Yeah.
going to be coming next year. Get your plane ticket. And you're
Yes.
gonna be, yeah. So going to go to Senegal. We may go to Rwanda, may go to South Africa.
Oh, list
Yeah, bucket list.
locations. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well,
And
I'm
I know you would
excited.
thrive. You can bring your show there. They would love you.
Yes, and bring all the wags because I want to talk to the wives and girlfriends. That's who I want to talk to. That's actually one of my shows, shameless plug, Wags Unfiltered. So if you know any wives and
Oh, what's going on with
girlfriends,
that? What's going on with this? What's that?
well,
Okay.
okay, so I'm currently filming a couple of episodes. I'm still sourcing some wives and girlfriends, but essentially, I believe that wives and girlfriends of any athlete or anyone who's in the public eye, they are the project managers of their lives. So I want to know, what do you do? Like what how walk me through it, a day in your life, because we always know about the athletes' day in their life. We see them on ESPN, but I
Love
want
it.
to see what the wives do and what the girlfriends do to make sure that they're comfortable. So
Love it.
you're
Love
right, I
it.
might be there talking to the
Yeah, that would be
girlfriends.
right. That's right up your alley. So you can get the exclusive behind the scenes and all that. I know you know what
Exactly.
to do.
Yeah, I'm there with it. I'm all the way there. Okay, yes. Put a word in for me. I'll be there.
All right, right. We got you. We gonna
Yes.
make sure
Okay,
you
but
take
for
care of.
anybody who wants to follow along on your journey and all the things that you have going on with City of Gods, the Wealth Summit, how can they keep up with you? What's your Instagram? All of that.
Well, they can follow me at A as an apple, and just put City of Gods in. And
Okay.
the store is City of Gods, www.cityofgods online. You can also follow any of my partners. City of Gods, that's my partner Mashari. It's for City of Gods with two S's. And we have a whole ecosystem over at Holland's Market, 1118 Holland's Market,
That in the
where
episode description.
yeah, yeah. So we got, my partner and his wife, they started a business that taking a life of its own, Old Honey on the Bay. And we got everybody coming through the City of Gods getting inspired. We got our anniversary activities that we're gonna be doing with the Crown Awards. You can get in contact with me through Instagram, DM me. Hopefully, if not, hit my page and say, hey, look, check your DM. Sometimes I don't see them all. And look out for By Any Dreams Necessary. You can find that on the By Any Dreams brand, www.byanyDreamsbrand, and follow my story and book some time with me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for taking time to join me today. Like I said, this is a long time coming, my fellow ABC alum. I'm super excited
That's
and I
what's
can't
up.
wait to
Yeah.
catch up.
Yeah, we doing some big things. We got some private events, right? We got private
Yes,
events
yes,
that we
yes.
ain't gonna tell everybody about. You gonna see the footage. You gotta get
Right.
invite only, all right?
Invite
So
only. But thank
invite
you
only. That's right.
again.
All right.